break down what's going on, right? So 1090 Jake actually made a video, right? Basically saying, yo. Basically saying Boston Richey told, okay?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. The following day, investigators interviewed witness 3, who according to the witness list is Jalen Foster, who went by the nickname Bussa, but we know him as Boston Richey. Investigators would note Richey was a relative of the homicide victim.
This is the video Boston Richey pretty much put out. It's stamped Boston Richey pretty much as someone who cooperated. Boston Richey's a street rapper. He doesn't have a mainstream audience yet. I was talking to a lot of people about this. I said, yo, Boston Richey is probably the most cancelable rapper because right now he's only performing in hood clubs. He needs the streets. He doesn't have that mainstream presence that he could be performing for white kids in front of from Idaho. He needs the streets until he gets to that other point where maybe he doesn't need the streets as much, right? But right now, him being classified as a snitch hurts. This is the video that kind of set it off. And by the way, I want to get 1090 Jake on the line because I'll give you the short and then we're going to listen to this. 1090 Jake is saying he told. But we're hearing from 2 other people who seem to be attorneys who said, no, he didn't tell. So now, again, it's kind of almost bigger than Boston Richey because people look to 1090 Jake to hear the truth. And then people are wondering if, 1090 Jake is not being fair. Like, it's a lot of shit. So let me play a little bit of this and then we'll play the other shit.
Victim and lived at the residence where the murder happened. Richey reluctantly recounted an incident that occurred approximately 2 months prior involving Wig. Richey stated he'd been in the Frenchtown neighborhood when the defendant threatened him with a firearm because he was associated with the South Side. Roughly a week later, investigators interviewed witness 4, who according to the witness list is Trey Moore and goes by the nickname Loudy or Loud. Another associate of Wig, Loud confirmed to investigators when he texted Wig to lay low, it was related to the homicide. Loud told investigators him and Wig spoke in person, and Wig confessed to the homicide. After the conversation is when Wig texted him telling him not to tell anyone else. Loud told investigators he saw Wig at 1 a.m. before the murder. He was traveling in a white Buick and told Loud he was going to the South Side. Loud wouldn't see Wig till the following day, where Wig made a reference to catching a body. Loud asked him about it, and Wig said that he had gone to Key Street to rob some.
Chat. We're gonna get 1090 Jake on here. We watched this before. I just want to show you what everybody. So basically, I don't know if we could basically get to it. Okay, so here was 1090 Jake's final thoughts, and then we're gonna get to the retorts, and then we're gonna get 1090 Jake on here. Okay, so this was his final thoughts after he did all his investigation. If you don't know, he's been pretty super reputable. Like, he did time himself. He's putting in the work to pull paperwork that people never knew existed or they could get. He's reading shit pretty objectively. And he doesn't have a dog in the race. You know what I mean? Apparently this story, Boston Richey reached out to him like, yo, you could pull the case. Because when people started calling him a snitch, he told 1090 Jake, yo, you could pull the case. Show these niggas I'm not a snitch. 1090 Jake pulled the paperwork. And after he pulled the paperwork, he's like, bro, I think you are a snitch. Okay? Which is so ironic. Anyway, let me listen to his last thoughts, and then we're going to play what people have said about him, and then we're going to get 1090 Jake on here, because I don't know if they're going at 1090 Jake or they're trying to say 1090 Jake ain't as official as he, everybody believes he is. Here we go. This is last.
And when I spoke with Boston Richey's team, they damn near convinced me. Oh, he just trying to get clout off of his name. He didn't tell. He said he bumped into dude, but it wasn't about nothing. It ain't like he said he killed his cousin and all of the thing about the car, and he was only 16, and the charges got dropped. But you can't deny the paperwork, right? When I'm hearing them say it, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't sound like he snitched. It sounds like he fucked up. He shouldn't have said anything to the police, period. But not only that, looking at the paperwork, it clearly states the information he gave, the sworn statement in the murder case, was towards a possible motive. That's what the police were seeking. And they used his sworn statement as evidence towards the probable cause to arrest the shooter. I mean, it's dead and done. I've shown y'all through this video the other snitches in the murder case, which were all the shooter's friends. Murder, what was the other one's name? Loud, his own girlfriend. But the thing about that witness list is Boston Richey is on it. Boston Richey's name is with theirs. Everything that every one of them said was used as evidence. And then I find the Grand Theft Auto case. You're with your cousin, your homeboy, y'all get picked up, whatever, their charges get dropped, that's fine. But the fact that you told the police, yeah, they knew the car was stolen, and then you said it again. Yeah, they knew it was stolen, I told them it was stolen. And then you said it again. Yeah, they knew it was stolen, that's why they kept coming to my house that day. The only reason they even got arrested is because you were talking to the police. Because you agreed to give an interview. And you can't say it was because you were 16, because they decided not to make a statement. It says they refused.
No.
Man, I fell down to my knees when the law came.
You could have did the same thing that they did. So to be a rapper and have given a sworn statement in a murder case that led to a conviction, and an interview in another case that led to 2 arrests, it doesn't look good. Now looking back at the DMs between me and Boston Richey, it's crazy because he lied. He said that Wig was interviewed first and Wig ratted on him, that it was Wig's fault that he was a witness in the case, because Wig said Boston Richey ran down on him with the AK styled weapon. But it was a lie, because the paperwork says Boston Richey was interviewed first. And when asked, Boston Richey admitted that Wig ran down on him and threatened him. So if you're gonna accuse Wig of ratting for doing the same thing you did, then what did you do? Sounds like you ratted, right? And I mean, how I look at...
Okay. Basically, you said that Boston Richey told. Now, here's the thing. I believe my man 1090 Jake. And by the way, I heard the streets been in shambles. I'm going to keep it 100 what I've been hearing. Since 1090 Jake made this video, I'm hearing a lot of street niggas looking at Boston Richey a little weird. They're looking at him like, bro, here's the thing. Boston Richey at this point of his career is getting booked for shows in the hood. He's getting booked for shows at clubs. You know who those promoters are? Hood niggas, street niggas. It's a bad look if those niggas are booking a nigga who's supposedly a rat. You get what I mean? So he's at the point of his career where he needs the streets, and now this comes out that's erupting his whole fucking dynamic, right? So now, after 1090 Jake makes this, let me pull a few things up. So Lawyer for Workers actually commented on this, and I'm gonna play the comment. Where's the comment at? Right here.
So this also caught my eye about snitching. If you haven't watched my last video where I discussed the YSL judge using the word snitch in just the worst context with jurors today, please go check it out. Boston Richey, this is an up-and-coming rapper, somebody sent me, and it caught my eye because there's a message from the rapper to this like YouTube investigator, the YouTube police basically, and that the YouTuber's accusing him of snitching, and he's like, yo, I'm not snitching, check my paperwork. So I looked at it, and one of the things, people really use the word snitching just out of context. So classic example, snitching is when you give up information to do a better deal for yourself. We all remember Tekashi 6ix9ine, a guy who, not only snitches, but he actually like sort of brings people into the gang who before weren't in the gang, and he puts the money up to get them in, and then when it all goes left, he takes the deal and they do the time. Classic snitching scenario. This guy Richey, apparently what happened in this case is the police show up at his house and there's a dead body. So right there, I definitely recommend, don't say anything to police, have a lawyer present, but when there's a dead body and the cops show up at your residence, there's going to be some level of interaction with law enforcement. Let's not accuse people of snitching whenever something like that happens. And then basically they start asking him questions. They ask about like other beefs and altercations he's had with people in the neighborhood. And then ultimately the guy, this guy who's accused of committing that murder that led to the dead body, he ends up taking a plea for like 10 to 15 years where there's like all this other evidence, including like a text message with him and his girl involving the mention of a gun and other damning evidence that leads to this situation. Look, the word snitch, it gets tossed around way too much. Like I said, please make sure you go watch my last video on the YSL case where the judge used snitching name.
Okay. So basically, it looks like law enforcement workers is saying he's not snitching. 1090J said, bro, you got bought, don't play with me. He told in 2 cases, reading in black and white. So there's another guy who kind of everybody, let me tell you this. I'm not going to call these guys grifters at all, but like, we have lawyers that are kind of now are in the hip hop space. Like Bruce Rivers is one of the guys. Like, I don't know if he still takes cases, but he's definitely a lawyer that gives his opinion on all these things. Anyway, he reacted to the whole thing, and this is what he had to say, all right?
About is snitches, okay? Snitches are throughout our judicial system. The federal government uses snitches on just about every single case, especially the drug cases. But there's a real danger when you label somebody a snitch and they're not a snitch. That's why they're not labeled in documents as their name. Usually witness A or B or whatever. 1090J has posted a video alleging that Boston Richey is a snitch. And it is so reckless. And I'm going to read you the only evidence he has of that.
Florida rapper Boston Richey and his paperwork being exposed.
That sounds so ominous. His Boston Richey and his paperwork being exposed. Like he's a snitch and he's the one that's responsible for the conviction of DeAndre Wiggins. Let's just back up. DeAndre Wiggins in 2016 was responsible for the murder of Tavares Bass. Tavares Bass is Boston Richey's cousin. That's a well-known fact. There is a gun. They had DNA on the gun. They had Mr. Wiggins' own statements that he inculpated him, and he pled guilty. So there wasn't.
We gonna check in with Jake right after we listen to this.
So let's kind of look and see what exactly Mr. Foster or Boston Richey, what he said actually. He was interviewed and he lived at the same address. So witness 3, and let's say witness 3 is in fact Boston Richey, was interviewed. Witness 3 is a relative of the homicide victim and resided at Keith Street residence where the homicide occurred. Nothing wrong there. Witness 3 reluctantly recounted an incident that occurred approximately 2 months prior involving the defendant. So he's not even talking about the murder that happened. Witness 3 stated that he or she had been in a Frenchtown neighborhood when the defendant threatened him with a firearm. The incident supposedly occurred because Witness 3 was associated with Tallahassee's South Side. That's not snitching. In fact, if you're being accused of something, that's you standing up for yourself. That portion of the probable cause statement is really foundational and really can't be used to inculpate Mr. Wiggins on this case. Mr. Wiggins was scheduled to go to trial, and he didn't go to trial, but 2 of the witnesses have recanted their statement. There is no evidence that Mr. Richey or Mr. Foster was going to testify in this case. When you look at 1090 Jake's presentation of evidence, he puts up a document that says witness list. But just because somebody appears on a fucking witness list doesn't mean that they're going to be a witness. Here's what I do in all my cases. I take every single person that's named within a police report, no matter where it is or what they think they have to offer. I put everybody on our witness list. That way, everybody's included in case maybe they have some nugget that you're going to use later and you didn't think about. And if you don't have him on your witness list, you can't call him, right? Saying he's a snitch and giving this sensational bullshit about paperwork can get people killed. Well, 1090 Jake should not have gone where he went with this. I think it's really dangerous. There was original.
Yo, chat, this nigga banging on Jake. Why are you banging so hard on Jake?
Post by one of Kodak Black's NFL 2-Wop, and he posted some shit about Boston Richey, about his paperwork. Take a look at the paperwork. That's supposedly where this witness list came from. And when you have ops or whatever, people talking about this and talking shit like that, this kind of talk can get somebody killed. I've got the probable cause statement right here, and I've gone through it in detail, and there's absolutely nothing in here where he says, I saw him kill them. It just didn't happen. So here's the only other portion of the affidavit or the probable cause statement where Mr. Richey is named, or at least witness 3 is named. The defendant admitted to knowing.
Man, let's get straight to 1090 Jake, man. I think he in our Discord right now. 1090 Jake in the Discord right now. Let's get straight to the shit, man. Damn, my Discord is lit. Holy. Okay.
He right here.
Yo,
Jake, Troy computer guy.
It was good.
Yo, Jake.
What's the word?
Why everybody banging on you like you not spitting facts? Like, what's going on right now, bro? Speak to me, bro.
Man, listen. So, the first lawyer, I don't know his whole name, Mo, but lawyer for workers.
Yeah, that's Mo Gagnet, I believe that's his full name.
Yeah, I've been following him for a minute.
Yeah.
So I was surprised when I seen his video, and I didn't really like what he said. So, we ended up getting on a phone call the very next morning. I spoke with him, and it was super respectful. You know what I'm saying? And I brought up, you saying this and that, and this is more or less who I am. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand why your video sounding so biased. And first quarter, he apologized for saying, "Oh, I shouldn't have called you the internet police, or I shouldn't have said this," and da. So it was a respectful.
Wait, he called you the
conversation.
internet police? Nah, he ain't called you the internet police.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Nah, yeah, he probably didn't know who you was.
So it's like, that's why I more or less wanted to reach out instead of doing a back and forth with the videos and all that bullshit. But with his video and then Bruce Rivers, I left a comment on Bruce Rivers. We were actually supposed to talk earlier. Once again, I'm being super respectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you doing, whatever. But this is the thing, when you break down both of these videos, neither one of them have ever covered a video that I've covered before. But we've covered the same topics, right?
Yeah.
Now, specifically, they want to talk about the murder case, but neither one of them seem to have actually looked into the case. Mo told me straight up he didn't look into it at all. He just saw some shit, whatever.
You're lying.
So, respectfully to them, in my mind, it looks like y'all got paid to say something. Because for whatever reason, neither one of y'all even want to talk about the second case for Grand Theft Auto, in which he clearly told on his 2 co-defendants and got them arrested. Y'all want to talk about the murder case, in which he doesn't have that much involvement. But Mo brought up the fact that, okay, a murder happened in front of his mother's house. His cousin gets killed. They start questioning him. That's not how it happened. Nothing even says Boston Richey was there. Boston Richey got interviewed a whole week later after he got arrested for loitering. So you got arrested for loitering in the parking lot. They take you to the police station and then say, "Oh, we want to know about who killed your cousin. Who is this?" Any fucking statement you give, bro, is telling. You're not even getting asked about loitering. You getting asked about somebody who allegedly smacked your cousin. You're not supposed to say shit. It doesn't matter what the fuck we went to high school together. Oh, we da. So the statement that he gave was used against Dude because they were trying to come up with a motive that he already had beef with Boston Richey and went and slid on his cousin.
Okay, let me jump in real quick. And this is, I haven't watched this full video. I was trying to watch it on stream, but I just got you on because, he was about to get real technical and shit. So, this is what I think is going on. Let's be clear about everybody's background. You a nigga who done time that know how the streets view niggas who give information or who even cooperate, even if that cooperation ain't be like, oh, it's on a written document saying you're doing this to get lesser time, right?
Right.
Basically, this is what the streets believe. If you cooperate with the police at all, if you cooperate by giving names, by giving details of a crime, and you a street nigga, you're telling.
You out of there, bro. If you in prison, you're not even supposed to talk to a CO without somebody with you, just so somebody can vouch for the fact that you didn't snitch.
Okay. These guys are lawyers. So this is my opinion, right? So you're looking at what telling is on a street level. They're looking at what telling is as, I have a client. He's only telling if the DA promises him that he's going to not get prosecuted or he's going to get lesser time. That's not exactly how the streets see it, right? If you get picked up for loitering and they ask you about a murder, keep in mind the max you probably could go home with is a loitering charge. You're not never supposed to say nothing about a murder ever, right?
Yeah, I mean, bro, you're not even facing a murder charge. You just being asked about it and voluntarily giving up information. It says you identified the shooter by a fucking photo to police.
Oh, that's
So I don't give a fuck what a lawyer says. One lawyer is a civil lawyer, the other lawyer is a criminal lawyer. And this is the thing about it. Whether they get the facts right or whether they get the facts wrong, they're still a fucking lawyer at the end of the day. That doesn't take away the fucking certification of the fact that they're a lawyer. Versus with me, I gotta go specifically buy the paperwork because I can't afford to make mistakes. I don't have the legal background. I didn't get a degree. I don't have all of that. The only thing I have is my reputation, which has been built on reading specifically the fucking paperwork. And all respect to Bruce Rivers, he says that the paperwork is fake. The witness list is fake.
He said the paperwork's fake?
Man, he said the witness list is fake, and Boston Richey sent me the fucking witness list.
Wow. What do you think the angle is here then? Because, listen, let me tell you this. Jay, I don't know if you know your influence, but you have a lot of influence, bro. I've talked to 8-9 people. These are usually dudes who they're more street niggas than care about the other shit. And you know, since we've connected and I start watching your videos like on my stream, they're like, damn nigga, like I ain't like about damn time you tapped in with 1090 Jake. He been exposing niggas who ain't really solid, like niggas who been telling. So I know I've gotten 8 to 9 calls to be like, yo, bro, what Jake said, that nigga is basically, he's spitting the facts. Yo, if Jake said it, it's a wrap. But these two guys, these two lawyers are saying you're incorrect. And it's kind of interesting. I'm wondering if you think, like, do you think maybe you got it wrong or do you think something else is going on? Because I've never seen no one counteract what you said.
Well, I mean, I look at it like this, bro. I look at the bias in both of their videos. Both of their videos seem to already have an intent. Most started off dissing me, in a sense. So immediately, you're already trying to get at my credibility by dissing me to your audience before you even get into the case. And then with Bruce Rivers, he's trying to, I mean, he did the same thing. The very first thing I said, he's, ooh, that sounds so ominous. So it seems like both of them already had an intention before the video even started. But it makes sense to me that they were paid to do it because the fucking co-defendant that Boston Richey told on reached out to me and told me that his people are trying to pay him to say he didn't tell on him.
Whoa.
So it's like, it makes perfect fucking sense.
Wait. Say that again, slowly. Explain it to us.
Yeah, Boston Richey in his Grand Theft Auto case told on himself and told on his two co-defendants. One of his co-defendants was his own cousin. The other person that he told on didn't get the charges dropped like Boston Richey said, didn't beat the case like Boston Richey said. He was arrested and convicted. And he already hit me up and told me straight up, they're trying to pay him to come out and say otherwise. He doesn't want to come out and say anything because he doesn't want to be in the middle of the situation because he's from the same block as Richey. But he said they Ben knew Richey told, they just wanted to keep the shit in-house. Specifically, how he said it to me is like, if you fighting with the family in the home, you keep the shit in the home. And by the time Boston Richey got big, if anybody exposed it, they just gonna look like a hater. But everybody knew about it. So the whole city that knew, or at least his hood, been covering up for him.
Wow. I'm gonna be transparent too. I did tell you this, but I didn't tell the audience. Boston Richey has my number. I interviewed him off the record before. Someone who says they're on this team, but they classify themselves as his brother. They say, I'm his brother, whatever. They say, yo, we want to tap in with you. Recently, they have, reached out a lot. I did respond, I believe, either yesterday or today. I said, because I could tell your video has shaken up a lot of shit for them. It's probably fucked up a lot of shit. And obviously you're in the pursuit of truth, but for them, it's like, yo, they probably had a lot of money to get that probably is getting slowed down by what you said, right? So I kind of know what it was. They've been trying to get on the phone, but I've been kind of busy, and I can imagine they got their own shit going on. So I told him, I said, yo, I said, we could set up an interview, and y'all could clear all this up. But here's the thing. I don't really know what the fuck going on. You know what's going on. Have they reached out to you to kind of clarify? Because you did say they reached out to you to initiate you looking into it. Did they reach out to you to kind of clarify what you found?
Man, so when I seen the post that Tuwab exposed the paperwork or whatever, I put it in my story saying that I'm going to look into it. Boston Richey himself responded to that. So that started the conversation with me and Boston Richey. He told me whose name the case was under. I started digging into it. And I mean, I got the DMs, bro. It's like, I straight up told him, like, yo, you gave a whole witness statement right here in this case.
You told him that? No, you didn't tell him that.
I found your Grand Theft Auto case.
Yo, Jake, you ain't tell him that. You ain't tell him that. You ain't tell him that. Ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way.
All right. So do it like this. When I send it to you, just do me the favor and post it on Akademiks on Instagram.
Chat, should I do that?
Man, I got the DMs of him sending me the paperwork, of me confronting him about ratting in the paperwork, all that.
Chat.
mean, it's unfair.
I mean, sound like equal exchange.
Need that.
Only right.
Man, I kept it 1,000 with him. I told him, I was like, yo, there ain't no bias in this shit. I even listened to the music. But homie, it says you fucking told. And I asked him too. I was like, listen, so if we reverse the roles and I told the police you were riding around in my whip that I stole and I said you knew it was stolen, or me and you were into it and I told the police we into it, what would you call that? He got whatever excuse he got. So the same person you talking about that's saying that that's his brother, I talked to him too. We spoke on the phone for like an hour and a half. He damn near had me convinced. The way he spun the story, but the shit just doesn't match the paperwork. That's the only thing. And I asked them, I said, all right, let me reverse the roles for y'all. Tuwap, the one that exposed the paperwork, is supposed to be Kodak's artist. If Kodak sat in a police station and said he was into it with somebody that killed somebody of his, or Kodak was in a stolen whip and told the police, yeah, my two homies, my two snipers, they knew it was stolen, and them boys got booked, what would y'all call Kodak? Y'all would call him a rat. So how you not gonna keep the same energy, bro? You can't act like people just pulling shit out of their ass with these accusations.
Damn.
That's crazy.
And at the same time, I told them, all right, y'all know Tuwap name? I'm gonna look into Tuwap too. Tuwap, I ain't find nothing about him ever being arrested.
Yo, Jake, I'm glad to have you in this space. I'm going to tell you why I'm glad to have you in this space. Because I remember when I started, digging into shit, and obviously I was, I'm not no street nigga. You've actually been through shit. You've went there. But, even when I just started reporting the truth, right, it became a lot of conflicts of interest the bigger you get. Jake, right now, you're on the cusp. I don't know how much subscribers you have, but I do know your word when it comes to street shit, niggas take serious.
Mm-hmm. I just hit 900,000 a day.
Okay. So I don't know if you know what comes with that. What comes with that is now niggas is going to try to influence, maybe to see if yo, Jake, I give you some concert tickets, I give you a little 30 grand, whatever. Bro, niggas hit you about me, don't talk about it. You feel me? Bruh, you my mans now. So now you're going to be compromised a little bit. Nigga gave you 30 bands. You know what I mean? He'd be like, yo, come to his show. He'd be like, yo, he got a trip for you to Tulum. You're gonna be like, man, I could look the other way. I think you're in a unique space right now where you're not looking the other way. And I know that pressure is gonna be hard. How difficult was it to basically, because Richie told you to look into his shit, and I'm pretty sure he told you to look into his shit to basically come back and stamp it and say, oh no, he's straight. You get what I mean? Because by the way, this ain't the first that happened. Bandman Kevo told you to look into his shit, right?
Man, Kevo told me to look into his shit, and the thing about that is because everyone wanted Kevo to be a rat. That's the fucked up thing. Everybody wanted him to be a rat. The entire Chicago wanted him to be a rat. And then when they found out he wasn't, that's when they tried to, he must have got paid, or he must have did this, he must have did that, whatever, because they didn't get what they wanted. And that's the thing in this situation. They don't want Boston Richey to be a rat. They wanted 6ix9ine to be one.
Yeah,
and that's why everybody talked about him. But they don't keep the same energy in situations like these when it's rappers that they actually like. The shit fake.
Well, here's the thing. And I talk to so many people, man. Yo, niggas that I didn't even know was tapped in with you was talking to me. And they're like, yo, bro, shit fucked up right now. You know what niggas told me? Bro, I don't know if dude could move with, he's moving with Future, my nigga. Future don't got no blemish like these type of things on his resume. Shit, like niggas is looking at Future now. Niggas is looking at him. Here's the thing. You're the person who could clear it up. If a nigga slides you a nice little 50 piece and you be like, oh, nah. Matter of fact, we made a mistake. He's straight. You know what I mean? But it's niggas is looking at you. Clearly, I ain't gonna lie. These lawyers are, I'm gonna be honest with you. And by the way, Bruce Rivers seemed like a really dope dude. I never talked to him, but it looks like he's more lashing out at your report than just talking about it independently. So it's not like he's doing his own thing about Boston Richey. He's just talking about your video, which, again, you know what I mean? Are you trying to know the truth about the guy, or you're trying to critique someone making a video about the guy?
Exactly. And that's why the whole thing seems biased, because he doesn't actually get into the allegations themselves, bro. If you're a criminal lawyer, you know for a fact you can get flipped for speaking with the police. Nobody has to go to court and testify. You gave a statement. And the fact that both of these lawyers completely ignored the second case, which was in the video that I made, it just tells me everything I need to know, because y'all obviously didn't have an explanation for that. Y'all didn't even want to get into that. So it's like y'all bringing up half of the content. Oh, and this right here, I'm going to say this is fake, and I'm going to say this isn't true, and this wasn't used. Bro, you admitted he gave a statement. That's all you need. But nobody wanted to talk about the Grand Theft Auto case. And like you said, yeah, somebody probably would drop a bag if they could to get me to say this or say that. But at the same time,
listen, Jake.
That affects your whole reputation if you take that bag, though, especially if they expose it. And then not for nothing, if you already dealing with a rat and I take a bag from a rat to not expose them, he can go and tell the police, oh, Jake just extorted us. He said he gonna drop my paperwork unless I give him $50K. I sent him $50K. Here's the proof. Now I'm in a fucking RICO. They don't play about extortion. Yeah, these prison politics, same shit. Just you extort on the street, you going away. So it's like you got to be 10 steps ahead of the bullshit. I ain't taking a bag to make you look good or make you look bad. I don't give a fuck either way.
Man, it was interesting that I seen this shit. And this is what I really wanted to ask you. Do you think that? Do you think his career is done?
Nah, he probably just gotta change up what he's talking about, because I know he just dropped some songs and he mentioned snitches, and that shit kind of hit a little different now.
He just dropped Public Housing 3 or something like that.
Yeah, Witness 3.
Stop.
Christian, and
Wait.
he from his name's Boston Richey.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Not to cut you off, Kyrie. My bad. How positive are you that he's witnessed? Because I'm listening to Bruce Rivers, who says we just name everybody witnesses. That's what he's basically saying. Oh, how do you know he's really the witness? Or how do you know he's going to testify? Or how do you know he's cooperating? We call everybody a witness. Are we certain that witness 3 is Jalen Foster, a.k.a. Boston Richey? Because I ain't going to lie, witness 3 sounds crazy.
I'll do you something even better. I got the DMs. I sent them the paperwork. I said, is this you? And that's when he started saying, I only said it because he said it. You just admitted you witnessed 3. So when Bruce Rivers says, oh, that whole witness list is fake, in my video, I exposed every snitch on that witness list. The only name I couldn't read was witness 1, and that was the girlfriend. You know how I know that's the girlfriend? Because Boston Richey's brother, the same one you talked to, told me that was the girlfriend. Every other name on that list is in the paperwork. Everybody in that is in the video. So you gonna tell me everybody's shit was right except Richey? I think that Bruce Rivers is an educated man that decided not to look into it, to make a video on however they wanted it portrayed. I don't think he looked into it. Because if he looked into it, it ain't fake. Every paper in the criminal case isn't going to be accessible online. You request the whole case file, you're going to get every single paper. That witness list isn't online. Someone had that in person, took a picture of it, scribbled over the names that they didn't want exposed, and the picture got around. The picture got sent to me, and I spoke about it with Richey's people. So we can't say it's fake. I don't know how we can come up with this narrative. I mean, we take it back to when he was first exposed. Boston Richey posted to Instagram saying, how did I rat? Everybody knows Wig told on me first. He ratted on me.
Yeah.
The only reason I became a witness
did Wig
is
tell on him?
because you said I pulled up with guns.
Did Wig tell on him?
Wig told the police that it was Richey that pulled up on him with guns.
And then what will Richey tell the police?
Well, that's the thing. Richey didn't say nothing after. Richey said it first. And that's where the whole fucking issue comes. Is Boston Richey tried to tell everybody, he told the police I pulled up with guns. And it says that Boston Richey told the police he pulled up with guns. But the thing is, Boston Richey was interviewed 6 days before Wig was interviewed.
Man, I
So
fell down
not
to
only
my
did you
knees when
tell,
the law
according to
came
your
down.
words, because you said he told, to saying the same thing you did, you told 6 days before he did.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. Everybody,
You know lawyers are paid to lie, right?
No, I know. Hold on. By the way, everybody knows I'm a civilian. You know what I mean? I'm cool with 6ix9ine. He's whatever. Anyway, I talked to 6ix9ine about this, right? And I think that's why he posted to his like Instagram story. He was just like, "This is ridiculous." He said, "When I told, everybody had everything to say." And I was kind of arguing with him on the phone. I said, "Well, here's the thing. I'm like, I think there's levels to the telling. You took the stand. You know, like, say Gunna, we don't know if he's going to take the stand. And Boston Richey, I guess he didn't have to take the stand. Again, I'm a civilian, so, like, my opinion really don't give a fuck or don't count. When it comes to snitching or when it comes to cooperating, does it matter if the person took the stand or does it matter if the person either attested or signed an affidavit or something to a statement?
Nah, it doesn't matter because you can have somebody that gave an entire statement, is 100% willing to testify, wants to testify, and before they get the chance to testify, the person takes a plea deal. Yeah, I did it. All right, I'll take the 3 years. Now that person doesn't get to testify. They still a rat. They had every intention on testifying against you. They gave a statement against you. And the thing about the statement is the state wants them to repeat that same statement on the stand at a trial. But if you never make it to trial, that person isn't going to get the chance to do that. It's the initial contact with the police. Most snitching in cases happens right in the beginning of the case.
Hey,
Majority of it happens right in the beginning with the police report or the affidavit. If not, you'll be able to get it in the transcripts.
it's so
But it's
interesting.
like,
It's so interesting you're saying that. So what I'm talking to 6ix9ine about this yesterday. You know what he says? He says, man, he says if them two niggas who kidnapped me ain't fucking take it to trial where I had to testify, he said niggas would look at me just like Gunna. You would look at me just like everybody else, because I would never be on the stand having to say a motherfucking word.
well, I think that's really one of the main aspects that killed it for him. You know what I mean? And that's also the thing is, if you see everyone that gets accused of something similar with 6ix9ine, all they say is, "Oh, I didn't do it as bad as he did." That's exactly what Boston Richey did. He said the difference between him and 6ix9ine is he didn't put anybody in jail. I can name 3 people Boston Richey put in jail.
Hold on, no, wait, no.
So it's
No,
like-
let's address that. Let's address that because, by the way, and here's the thing. His team hit me. They say, "Oh, Ak, we're down to do an interview with you about anything to do with any allegation." If it was up to me, I would want you there, but I don't know how the temperature is, and I would never try to create some shit that could lead anywhere else. But he says he wants to sit down and talk about these allegations because he is confident that he is not an informant, that he has never cooperated, and he is not a snitch. What do you say to that?
As far as me being a part of it, or just the interview itself?
No. Well, 3 things. You being a part of it, the interview itself, and also what constitutes, like, even if you won't be a part of it, you got to give me the talking points, because, like, now I got to represent that side of it, because he's going to say, "Oh, I ain't do nothing. I never went on the stand. I never," like, I know the talk, like, you know what I mean? It's easy to talk your way out of it. How do you hold him to the fire?
Well, I mean, I would say this. I'm not really interested in speaking with somebody I just exposed as a rat, because I feel like it's just going to be a whole lot of rah shit that ain't really content. As far as for you, hell yeah, get that content. But, I mean, I'll just send you the goddamn paperwork. And all you got to do is just read the fucking paperwork. So, let him tell his story and then just cross-reference it to what's written in black and white, and you're going to see that it doesn't add up. It's as simple as that, because nothing he said has added up to the paperwork.
So what I heard Bruce Rivers kind of say is that, hey, listen, if you go by a police's probable cause statement or whatever the case is, they will say anything to try to either, I don't know what he was trying to say, but it's like, is it possible that the police kind of put him in this position and it wasn't him who agreed to do anything?
No. How? This is the thing, right? Is most people snitch under pressure or in fear that they're going to be facing a crazy amount of time. Boston Richey brought up a fucking murder case while he was getting investigated or arrested for a loitering charge. So I don't understand, like, how they would be forcing you. You literally volunteered to speak with the police. He did the same thing in the second report. He was willing to speak with police after he was arrested for Grand Theft Auto. They took him down to the police station. He waived his Miranda for the second time and gave a full fucking statement.
Fuck.
They're not forcing him to fucking do nothing.
Somebody said Boston gonna try to save his career. Of course he gonna deny it. Like, what the fuck, Act? I mean, I would imagine he would try to be truthful a little bit. It's just that.
Well, this is the thing, bro. If we all pay attention to this shit, and that's another thing too, is when you interview him, bring up everything that he's already said. Because he said Wig ratted on him for saying he pulled up with guns. But Richie's statement was he pulled up with guns. So how are you going to say he ratted for saying the same shit that you said? And then he DM'd me talking about, no, the police try to make it seem like what he said is what I said. Like, come on, bro. When the fuck they started doing that? How come the police are always lying in cases where these motherfuckers is telling? All your other paperwork is real except for the case where you started telling? That's the only one they started lying in?
Hey, maybe Boston Richey could see into the future, so he preemptively told the information before the other dude, before Wig.
You know that I can tell you how to go on the website right now while you on stream, and you can literally read the paperwork to the.
I know it's hey, listen.
It's all up there.
Nobody's. Well, I know you said that either Bruce Rivers or maybe Lord for Workers said that it was fake. I know that what you're talking about is real shit. I guess it's all down to interpretation, right? Because if somebody said, well, no, it's supposed to be interpreted different. Like, yeah, I did say that, but that dude already snitched already. So really, I'm not snitching. I'm just kind of like giving a statement for the plea. Bro, like, there's a lot of way to spin this snitching shit. Like, let's keep it real.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, bro. If you get arrested for loitering and they start asking you about somebody that allegedly killed your cousin and you tell the police he pulled up on you with a gun before, that sounds crazy. If you want to take it a step further, if your statement literally got 2 people arrested, that sounds crazy. So it's like, you just got to hold the same standard to everybody. Name a rapper you don't like, and if that rapper you didn't like did the same thing, what would you call him?
Well, that's precisely the point, 1090 Jake. In hip-hop, it's not necessarily about holding the same standard. If it's ganging them, like, play this. And I know you probably, maybe briefly, but you probably kept an eye on the YSL case. The guy named, you did a fucking video on it. The guy named SB, right? He's told on people before, right?
Yep.
Doesn't Young Thug says he don't fuck with or tolerate rats?
Yep.
But the rat is to probably his benefit and in his camp. So I guess ratting is cool. Right?
I guess as long as it benefits them.
So to come back to this Boston Richey shit, there is never no keeping the same energy. Like, we can't really point out people keeping the same energy. Boosie said, yo, Gunna, you a sucker for taking a plea. You left King Slime in there. And then he said, yo, check out my mixtape with T.I. It's dropping next week. No, I'm saying, yo, am I wrong? Yo,
and he hasn't said shit about Boston Richey either.